I wanted to talk today also about a process that we use in the Zen tradition, which is Koan practice. And the Koan practice developed in China during the Tang Dynasty, which was roughly 600 to 900. And for some reason, there just were an extraordinary quality of Chan teachers at the time, very deeply realized, very much able to spark students into awakening. And their students began recording some of the exchanges between teacher and student. And these became what they called, there were something like case studies or public cases. That was the word. And so they'd be studied by other students, both of the teacher and others. And and those became what we know as koans, where it was distilling the interaction of teacher-student. And the koans have been systematized where when I did formal koan study, one starts with what are called the Dharmakaya, or the awakening koans, the absolute koans, the first being the Koan Mu, which I'll explain in a minute. And then there's two others, what is the sound of one hand clapping? We all know the two hands clapping, but what's the sound of one hand clapping? And then the third koan in the Dharmakaya koans is original face. And the koan is thinking of neither good nor evil. What was your original face before your parents were born? And so once one completes all of those three koans, then they move into these koans we call the miscellaneous koans, about 200 koans, that flesh out that realization. They make it fuller, more complete. And after one completes those, then they start the formal koan study, the collections, like the Muman Kan, the Gateless Gate is the first collection. There's the Blue Cliff Record, the Book of Equanimity, and some others. And so you work through each of these books, and they contain these stories, these public cases of teacher and student throughout time. And so the way it works typically with when one works a koan is like the students I work with, they've come to me and said, I'd like to try koan study. And so I typically start them with the Mu koan. And then they'll check in with me when they want to present an answer. And one of the famous, my teacher had a teacher, Daido Roshi, who was the head of Zen Mountain Monastery, a really fine teacher. And he was famous for sort of bellowing at his students, don't tell me the answer, show me. And so that is part of the process, that if someone comes with an answer to Mu, both they will present an answer, there would be a nonverbal answer, and then there would be, I usually ask for an explanation. What does that mean to you? Because I want to make sure that what I'm seeing, what I'm witnessing, is conveying the understanding they're telling me. And there are certain things we're looking for in the resolution of the koans. Typically, we're looking for kensho, and usually a fairly deep kensho. And so as a teacher, you'll sometimes keep students with the koans until they have that deep experience. Let me just read you the Mu koan. I'll have to pull that up. I thought I had it, but excuse me one second. And what I'm going to read you is a translation that I did of the Mu koan. It's not that I'm the best translator or anything, but just I've translated some of these. I think the languaging was a little stilted. Okay, so I'm going to read you the whole koan here. A monk resting in everyday mind asked Joshu, does that dog have Buddha nature? Master Joshu answered, Actually, Wu in Chinese, which is pronounced Mu in Japanese. Mu means no, not, without, or no thing. And part of the background on this koan is that in Buddhism, it's understood that all sentient beings have Buddha nature, have the capacity, the seed, to become fully realized. So the correct answer for Joshu would be yes, that dog has Buddha nature. So by saying Wu or Mu, it put the student into a tailspin. How can that possibly be the right answer? So the koan goes on. This is from the Muman Khan. Muman was a teacher, and his comment, in order to master Zen, you must pass the patriarch's barrier. To invite this subtle realization, you must completely cut off the allegiance to thoughts and preferences. If this barrier is not passed, and the allegiance to thoughts and preferences is not cut off, then you will be like a hollow ghost resigned to the undergrowth. Tell me now, what is the patriarch's barrier? Why, it is the single word Mu. This is the portal of Zen. Therefore, it is called the Muman Khan. Muman Khan means gateless gate. Therefore, it is called the Muman Khan of Zen. If the patriarch's barrier is penetrated and passed, Master Joshu will appear face to face, while you walk hand in hand with the successive patriarchs and matriarchs, entangling eyebrows with theirs, seeing with shared eyes and vision, hearing with shared ears. Isn't that a delightful prospect? Wouldn't you like to enter this very portal right here? Arouse and direct your entire body with its 360 bones and joints and its 84,000 pores of the skin. Summon up a spirit of great doubt and be one with Mu. Carry it close day and night with don't know mind. It will be just as swallowing a red-hot iron ball lodged deeply. All the illusory ideas and delusive thoughts accumulated up to this moment will be vanquished. And in the fullness of time, inside and outside will be spontaneously perceived as ever united. You will know this truth on a cellular level. A sudden explosive transformation will occur, and the heavens will be penetrated while the earth shakes in awe. It will be as if the great sword of the valiant general Kan Yu is nestled in your hand. When you meet the Buddha, kill him. When you meet the patriarchs and matriarchs, kill them. On the precipice of life and death, perfect freedom is mandated. Among the sixfold worlds and the four modes of existence, there is frolicking in a merry and playful samadhi. I say here and now, how will you carry Mu? Engage every ounce of intention and energy to work Mu. Hold on without breach. Behold, a single spark and the holy candle is lit. And then this is Muman's verse. An ordinary dog, the Buddha nature. The pronouncement perfect and complete. Before you say it has or has not, you are a dead person on the spot. So you can see within this koan, there's a whole bunch of activity and references going on. I do want to mention the one about meeting the Buddha and killing the Buddha. That's a common expression in the Zen tradition, and what that's meaning rather than homicide is the destruction of concept. That if you meet the Buddha, kill the concept of Buddha. Meet the Buddha face to face, rather than meeting the idealization or the caricature that we have. And the same with the patriarchs and matriarchs. We deal with them, we meet them fresh, one-on-one. We don't idealize. So that's important too. And the practice of Mu, I'll just complete this portion of it. Normally when one is given Mu, they're taught the traditional instruction is on the in-breath, they repeat silently, what is it? And on the out-breath, mu, mu. And just being with that mu like a mantra until it, I tell people to carry it on the tip of their breath. And that's where it gets so intimate that every breath is mu. And that's how we begin to work the Mu Koan. At some point I'll finish the translation of the Muman Kan. Some of it's a little bit archaic in how it's presented to me, and so I wanted to sharpen up some of the languaging, which I've done in this.